One thing I've enjoyed finding out about with my channel is German food. I mean, German food just looks amazing, so tasty, so diverse. Although it looks like the staples are sausages, potatoes and vegetables, apart from that there's a really huge range of food, and in general it seems to me like German food is very hearty, but again, apart from that, it seems like there's a huge range of German food. And I seen this video that I wanted to watch. It's called 10 foods that Germans can't live without. So very interested to know what foods that Germans can't live without. If you're from Germany, tell me what German food you cannot live without, what you eat a lot. And yeah, let's find out this one and see if you agree with it.
Stereotype or not, these are the 10 foods Germans can't live without. Hey, I'm Jen, and I'm from Guatemala.
And I'm Yvonne, and I'm German.
And together, we're from simplegermany.com, where we help expats settle into life in Germany more smoothly. So this is a very personal list, I would say, because this is based on my own observations by living with a German. If you don't know, she is my wife, and we live together, of course. By observing German friends, or even by observing the culture on the streets regarding street food and whatnot, right? So this is our top 10 list. Let us know if you are a German and you can live without any of these 10 things, or if we missed one that is super popular.
Exactly, you have another food that you cannot live without we don't mention.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below, please. So,
just before she starts, you mentioned German street food. That's also something I want to find out more about. I live in Asia. I've lived in Asia for 10 years. I've lived in China, Thailand, and Malaysia. Street food is a huge part of life here and something I love. So I want to know what the best German street food is, and maybe I'll try and do a reaction to German street food also.
Food number 1, it is Fleischsalat. Or as Ivan would say, any kind of salad that is not a normal salad.
Any kind of salad that you don't, where you have a picture when you think of a salad, like this green, healthy, leafy thing. And when we mean Fleischsalat and any kind of salad, it's anything that is mixed with mayonnaise and is called a salad.
So first of all, let's clarify what is Fleischsalat. Literally translated, it is flesh salad.
No, flesh is meat.
Meat salad,
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
I thought it was flesh.
Fleischsalat is a meat salad, and it's usually like pork meat, like ham, cut up in little stripes, mixed with like pickles and
Tons of mayo.
other things, and tons of mayonnaise. And it just has this creamy, delicious and there are breakfasts where we fight for the Fleischsalat. Yeah, I mean we, not Jen and I, but like other, like my family, we don't fight, but it's more like usually when you want to grab something for breakfast and you say, it's for this, it's next to this person because you know that this person also loves Fleischsalat.
So Ivan loves Fleischsalat so much that every time we go visit her parents, there's a one Metzgerei that does your favorite Fleischsalat.
Exactly.
There's always like a little bowl of Fleischsalat. And we have breakfast there maybe 2 times, Saturday and Sunday, and by the end of Sunday it's empty.
Yeah.
But anyways, other kinds of salads include also Kartoffelsalat.
Heringsalat.
Herring, which is a kind of fish.
Yeah.
I would also argue this as shrimp cocktail.
But that doesn't have the name salad in it.
It should have salad because I like that one actually. That one's very delicious. It's also very mayo creamy heaviness. It's very nice. Anyways.
So that one I've not seen on any of the previous videos. That's completely new to me, but that actually looks tasty, especially on the bread. So it's like you can have some meat mixed with a lot of mayo. And I forgot to mention, I was in Germany when I was younger for a school trip. It's the first place I ever tried like mayo all over fries, and ever since then I love that. So mayo is something I really enjoy, but I've never seen it mixed like that with meat and put on a bread, but it makes so much
Thing
sense.
number 2, it is Butter or butter.
Butter. Yeah.
Butter.
So even the amount of choices that you have in the supermarket for butter, I don't know if this is normal in every country, but here it's just like overwhelming. Which one do you even like buy? Because there's also butter with salt, without salt, margarine, but out of those you have like a gazillion options. You can live without butter?
I live fully without butter. I don't use butter like ever.
Okay, but
the only time we eat butter is with the asparagus.
True. There we absolutely need butter to have that. However, observing other friends and family members in breakfast also, there has to be butter because butter, some Germans like to put that butter on the bread.
As a first layer.
Brotchen.
I do.
That's the first layer before they
Come on, you
add.
can do better than that.
Oh my God. Brotchen. No.
No.
Brotchen.
Where's the
Brotchen. Brotchen.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out, obviously, right? So.
No.
Third on our list,
Okay, man, I like butter, man. Who doesn't? I mean, she doesn't like butter. I think maybe that's just a health thing, but butter is fantastic on everything. I put it on cake. I can get like butter cake, no, I can get like fruit cake and spread butter all over it thick, man. I love that. But the problem here in Malaysia is dairy products are very expensive, like butter, cheese, milk, all so much more expensive than it is in the UK, which is a problem because I love all of that, man. But yeah, I like
This
butter,
is
man.
Schorle. So we're not saying Apfelschorle, but any
Sure.
kind of Schorle. What is Schorle?
So Apfelschorle, I would say, is the most popular and I would say the kind of what the trendsetter with what it started. Apfelschorle is apple spritzer, apple juice mixed with sparkling water.
Ah.
And nowadays you mix sparkling water with any fruit juice. That could be Rhabarberschorle, Maracuja-Schorle.
Orangensaftschorle.
That is not so popular.
Huh. Maybe
Yeah.
we should try it. I
It's
think
more
it's
like a
pretty nice.
mimosa. It's more like orange juice with like Sekt.
Oh, okay.
Sekt is sparkling wine.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, any schorle. So we know we've talked about Apfelschorle in different video, and we had tons of comments that not from you Germans, beautiful people, that you don't like Apfelschorle and you don't drink that. So now we ask again, can you live without Schorle? Any type of Schorle?
That is a good question. Let us know in the comments below. So now we jump to point.
Yeah, that's why I someone said that in one of the previous videos that sparkling water is very popular in Germany. For me personally, I really don't like sparkling water, but I caveated that with if you put fruit juice in it, I would definitely enjoy it. I love like sparkling fruit juice, so that is really again right up my street.
Number 4, and this is currywurst. So what is currywurst, as I would call it in English?
So I would say currywurst is a specification of the bratwurst in general. But we may name currywurst just because we have a statistic here that we would like to share later on. Bratwurst is, German bratwurst, right? It's a sausage that is grilled. It can be long. Sorry. Well, the sausage. The sausage can be long, it can be small if you're like in the Nuremberg region. Different meats,
Is that
also different
applesauce?
tastes. But it's pretty much any grilled sausage. Usually we would refer to it like from a imbiss, not from a restaurant or you would do at home. I rarely do it, but like a barbecue, imbiss, food truck kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the currywurst is that kind of thing, that sausage, cut into small pieces already, and then of course topped with the delicious curry sauce, which
That
makes
looks
or breaks
so
the
good.
currywurst.
Especially with the beer.
Sauce. Okay, I personally
bread.
have tried currywurst multiple times, and throughout the years, I like it less and less, to be honest. I don't know. It's just not a thing, but I love bratwurst. I would also argue that bratwurst sometimes has been a disappointed because you really get a very big sausage with sometimes this much bread that you can hold it really, which is another experience on its
Yeah,
own.
but you want to eat the meat, not the bread in this case.
No, but
This is
maybe
not the yummy
it's
bread.
not a hot dog, right? That's the difference. It's not
Of course not. It's
That's
a
what I
German
There you
bratwurst.
go. Yeah, you go. Anyway, so did you know though that until 2020,
The currywurst was for 25 years in a row. right?
28.
Oh, 28 years in a row. The number one favorite and most eaten canteen food, so cafeteria food in like German companies and Mensas
Is that
in the
true?
university and what any canteen and cafeteria for 28 years in a row.
Wow.
The favorite
Is that,
food of the
is that
German
true for
canteen.
you?
Oh,
Have you ate a lot
and then
of
what
that
happened?
yourself?
What happened? So what is now the favorite? Because it's until 2020, right?
Yeah. So then it has been overtaken by spaghetti bolognese.
Really?
Bologna spaghetti. Oh wow, that is crazy. So it's
Let's
a
go
very
back to
big
the
thing.
sausages,
It's a very-
come
so
on.
I would argue, based on that statistics, that most Germans cannot live without currywurst.
Currywurst. Yeah, I agree. If
Currywurst
you enjoyed
looks
this content
right
so
up my
far,
street.
then please hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't yet. That is the easiest way that you can support.
I'll put a
Simple
link to
German.
their video in
And
the
if you wanna
description.
the
Go
extra
follow
mile,
them.
You can always buy us a coffee at coffee.com/simplegermany. Let's continue with the content. Number 5 on the list is sauerkraut or sauerkraut.
I've had that before. I
Okay,
really
so big
enjoy that
disclaimer
too.
Here. I'm the number one German that can live without sauerkraut.
Yes, I also don't like sauerkraut, to be honest. I think we've tried. I think a friend did it for us once, and it was actually okay.
It was yummy, yeah.
It was yummy, but generally speaking, I think I've tried sauerkraut that one time. That was the only time, maybe twice when I tried it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't really like this. So what is sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut is fermented cabbage, pretty much, and it's part of the very traditional German cuisine, right? That I'm not a fan of in general. So there goes I can't live without it. But yesterday I was at the Metzger, and of course I had
butcher shop.
In a butcher shop, exactly, and I had a person in front of me order sauerkraut. So you can also buy like prepared sauerkraut at the butcher freshly. So that is something that I learned there because I actually didn't know. And smooth transition to number 6, because of course we Germans don't stop at sauerkraut when it comes to cabbage. No, there is a whole variety of cabbage, which is number 6. And Jen, do you remember the cabbages?
Let's see. Rotkohl, Grünkohl,
This is the one I've seen,
Rosenkohl,
Rotkohl.
Lila Kohl, Orangekohl. I'm kidding.
Oh, that one was like Brussels sprouts.
I'm just adding more colors because everything seems to be kohl related, right? And it has like a color before it.
That is so not true. Rosenkohl is not a color. Yeah.
Isn't it rosa a color? A color?
A color?
Rosé?
It's more like rose cabbage.
Well, it could be a rose color.
The rose tattoo. Just kidding. Then there's Wirsing. Yeah, that's also no color, another type of cabbage. So the point is, Germans love cabbage.
In general, yeah.
In general, again, I don't, so I can live without it. But please let us know. Actually, do you eat cabbage every week?
That is interesting. Yeah, we don't eat cabbage at all. For some Christmas dinners that we've been with friends, someone prepares some kind of kohl, and we've been open and trying it, and actually it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's yummy.
However, we just don't have it in our day-to-day life. Yeah, but I've seen other friends, and they can't live with any kind of kohl. Really, it's really crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tell me with regards to all of these, how often do you eat these things like currywurst, like cabbage, like sauerkraut, and different things like that? For me, I think they all look tasty. Of course, I live in Malaysia, so it's not commonly eaten or anything. But I feel like if I lived in Germany, these would be things I would enjoy eating. What about spaghetti bolognese being the number 1 food in canteens? I can't believe that.
Okay, number 7 on our list, and it is beer. Beer. Okay, we know not every German loves beer. We do understand that. We also have friends who don't like beer. But generally speaking, the amount of consumption of beer is pretty high. To the extent that, did you know that there is more than 1,500 breweries in Germany? And this does not include anything with craft beer. This is purely breweries that follow the
Reinheitsgebot.
Exactly.
Which we actually go into detail in the video on the German beer culture, because, I mean, let's face it, we are a beer nation, whether, you particularly like it or not. But that is just a fact, and we consume a lot of it.
Yes, and also we personally consume a lot of beer at home.
Yes.
So we always have like a crate of beer that we drink slowly, but we still drink it. There's always beer at home, I would say. Yeah. Number 8.
Yeah, tell me that as well. Do you drink a lot of beer? What's your favourite beer? How often do you drink it? Every day? Do you treat it with respect and not go overboard? Or do people like to get drunk in Germany?
It is the famous, let's see if I can pronounce this right with the umlaut, Döner.
Yeah,
okay.
Döner. Jawohl, der Döner Kebab.
Döner Kebab.
Which I would say it's obviously not German origin, right? It was brought to Germany.
It is German origin, but
it's
by a Turkish person. But it was in Berlin. Because I went because
I
this
love
is what
doner
I
kebabs.
learned. Correct
Doner
me if I'm
kebabs.
wrong, please. But we went to this specific restaurant or doner kebab place in Berlin because the story goes that this Turkish man, he prepared, usually doners are prepared on a teller, on a plate. But there were tons of workers that would go fast and they wouldn't have enough time to eat from the plate. So he thought, what if I put everything in one of these falafel things or like these bread thingies? Fladenbrot, genau. Brot, genau. And so he tried that, and that's how the first donut was made. So it was created in Berlin, not by a German, but it was still, the origin is from Germany. There you go.
All right,
Did you know? That's the story I heard, and this is the restaurant that we went to who apparently did this. If you have a different story, please let me know, because correct me if I'm wrong. I would be interested.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Döner is definitely one of, if not the most popular German street foods.
Oh my God, it's so delicious.
And it is very yummy.
Yes.
And there's plenty of people that travel to Germany and say, I cannot travel to Germany without having a Döner, right? It is expressed best by the sheer amount of points of sales where you can buy a Döner, like a Döner Imbiss.
I have the statistics here. It is 16,000 Dönerbuden, or places to buy doner kebabs, and it's one doner imbiss per 5,000 inhabitants.
If you take 16,000 and then 82 million people, 82 million including like the babies, the children that don't really eat doner. For each 5,000 people living in Germany,
there's one place.
You find one place for sale. Like, now imagine how many people live in your city, how many doner imbisse you have. I think that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
That's crazy.
So if you haven't tried this, if you eat meat and you haven't tried them, it's really good. Before there was a place here in Düsseldorf where you could actually have a vegan doner.
I was going to say, you can also
it was only like vegetables and it was very delicious. Yeah. For some reason they closed down. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you can go to any imbissbude and just say everything but meat.
Yeah. However, it also depends how the sauce is made, right? So it's not just as simply
vegetarian.
As that. Yes, there you go. You know.
I love doner kebabs. That's one of my favourite things to eat and always has been. They sell it in the UK, in Scotland, but I guess it's nowhere near the quality that it is in Germany. I don't know what some of the meat in Scotland is made of. I don't want to know it. It still tastes nice to me, but I still enjoy it. But the German version, the Turkish version is just... That's what I would love. I think I would live on that if I lived in Germany. I would eat so much. Tell me what you think about doner kebabs. But the stat there, the amount of places that sell it is just
let's jump to point number 9 on our list, and this is anything in the world.
And tell me, actually, she mentioned in Berlin it was originated, it came from there. How does food in Berlin specifically differ from the rest? Because I feel like maybe Berlin's probably the most multicultural city in Germany, so I would imagine that would in turn mean that the food there is very multicultural as well. Is the food like very different in Berlin compared to the rest of Germany? Is it very multicultural?
Wurst. So this is like sausage
and meat. Like anything in the meaty area.
So if we say there's 16,000 places in Germany where you can buy a doner, for meat, there's actually 19,000 places where you can buy meat. So like a Metzger, right? So this is equal to like...
But I think that just shows the doner stat even more crazy, that for one specific food there's 15,000 places.
One point of sale to buy sausage and meat per 4,300 inhabitants.
That means that every relatively small village has their own butcher or a butcher counter in a supermarket. So here we talk about the fresh points of sale, right? Either a single-handed butcher or, like we discussed in our grocery shopping video for Germany, the fresh meat counters in supermarkets.
Yes, that is crazy.
Germany is a meat-loving country.
Yes, and I would argue,
I'm sure the quality of meat is just the best.
In every German breakfast, there's some sort of meat always.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. Which I prefer just like the cooked one, because there's like this Blutwurst and other which I
personally don't like. Is that like black
pudding? Teewurst, which I don't know.
Leberwurst.
We're gonna do a whole video about the wurst. So I generally don't like any kind of this wurst that is for breakfast unless it's like cooked. How do you say this? Like processed or cooked hard? Because all these Teewurst and Blutwurst are like
warm.
Soft. No, they're like soft. They're like, you cut them and then
they're pâtés.
Yeah, they're kind of pâtés. I don't like them. Yeah.
So the question here is, I know we also observed that obviously the trend for less meat is also happening in Germany.
Yes.
But regardless of that, of you Germans and non-Germans, how many meat lovers? How much meat do you eat?
Like the full English breakfast has like just filled with meat. I love that.
Meat for breakfast or any kind of other food.
Oh, any kind of other food. Yeah.
And of course, number 10 and. We kind of like ordered these based on how popular they are. So this is the most popular. Can you guess what it is? The one thing, and this I would be brave enough to say that there is no German that cannot live without this. Oh my God, this is very specific. Let's say maybe like 95%. Bread.
German bread.
Tell me if this is true or not. Are you a German that doesn't eat bread? Oh, that would be so interesting. I'm pretty sure there are Germans that don't eat bread, right? But just by the sheer amount of like bread.
No, this is crazy.
So there are 45,000 points of sales for bakeries.
What does it mean?
For buying bread. So that is one bakery or baker shop per 1,800 inhabitants.
1,800. Our neighborhood has more people than that. And I mean, believe it or not, I can count on my hands. There are already 5 bakeries within 2-minute walking distance from our house.
That is
so
crazy.
I would argue, I agree, the number one food Germans can't live without. And also by the sheer amount of popularity abroad, where you can buy German bread from specific shops, is the bread per se, and the Brötchen also.
Yeah.
And speaking of German bread, that is actually the perfect transition into liquid bread, aka German beer, for the next video for you to watch, where we talk about German beer culture. Until next time, cheers!
Okay, man, I like them. I've not seen any of their videos before. Really like their personalities. Very funny, but a great list. Again, every time I watch a German food video, it just makes me hungry. All the food looks exactly to my taste, what I enjoy. Who doesn't like bread, sausages and beer and doner kebabs, man? All that food just looks so good. Tell me if you can't live without these. Tell me if there's any that you don't like on that list. Tell me if there's any food that you can't live without that wasn't on this list as well. Interested to know. Tell me in the comments. Thanks.